Hi friends, it's Lydia here. How is everyone? Hello. This is actually my very first video that I'm posting to YouTube. My YouTube channel is Paint and Create with Lydia, but on Facebook my page name is Paint Party with Lydia. And I decided to change it because I don't just teach paint parties. I do craft and do a lot of DIYs. I work with different mediums. I like to journal. I also love, decoupage and wooden things. And I like to do it all. Wreath making, all kinds of stuff. So I'm Paint and Create here on this channel. I hope you enjoy this. I will be doing other things besides painting, but the reason I started with this one is because I have several paint parties this week, and this one is for one on Saturday, and I had to paint it, and I'm like, why not do the video and post it? So here I am painting the background. They wanted a coastal theme, so I am painting it a light blue, and then I'm adding a little bit of white to it. And sometimes I pick up both colors at the same time, or I'll add blue and then I add a little bit more of the white paint to lighten it in different areas. I am going over the design a little, but I did use a marker to to actually, draw the design out. So, you can still see it if you don't put too much paint over it. Now I'm going to use the navy blue. This was a fun one to paint. Doesn't look like much right now, but it turns out really pretty in the end. So again, I'm sorry I'm off camera here. It's just hard to get everything in view with this size canvas. It's a 12 by 16. I also have a paint party coming up at a campground, and that one's on Thursday, and that's Thursday night. Before that, I have one at 2 o'clock or 2:30 at an assisted living home. We are working with a wood plank and some seashells. And then on Friday, I have another paint party at a nursing home, which I do that once a month at the assisted living and a nursing home, and it's a lot of fun. And then on Saturday, I have this paint party, and it might be a big crowd. So I am busy, and between all that, I am doing live videos on Facebook on my Paint Party with Lydia page. I would love for you to follow me there too. So I am just putting a coat of blue. It looks like I will be needing another coat. And you can see that left arrow came out a little wonky, but I will fix it in the end. I think I went outside my lines, but that's okay. You can always fix it. Great thing about painting with acrylic paint, so don't be afraid to try it because it's easy. And if you make a mistake while it's wet, get a little baby wipe, and you could wipe it and the paint comes off and you can fix the problem. Or you can also let it dry and then paint over it. It could take a few coats, but again, that's okay. And sometimes we think we make a mistake, but like Bob Ross says, happy little accidents, and sometimes it's for the best anyway. So just enjoy the process, okay? I'm not a fine artist. I just paint for fun, and I teach people how to paint for fun and have fun while they're painting, with their friends or family or husbands or children. And it's a lot of fun at the paint parties. I really enjoy it. And, everyone gets nervous at first. I don't know how to paint. It's my first time. It's going to look horrible. And I said, trust the process. And little by little, their painting comes to life. And they've actually done a great job. I find the men usually get very creative. And they usually go a little rogue on me, which is fine. And they do their own thing. They put their own backgrounds. And they turn out really good. So kudos to them. I am painting the sides. I do like to finish my sides on the canvases. It looks a little more professional. Just looks more finished. I'm adding a little bit more of the blue, I think. Light blue. Maybe I need to touch up. I think I did. I'm sorry, I'm off camera. I'll learn to do this better. Oh, and I got my nose in the picture. I did crop it a bit. So just kind of, putting a second coat there. And when I do the edges, I forgot to mention, I hold my flat brush like vertical, and I use it like a pencil, and it makes nice straight lines. Instead of using the whole flat brush, I stand up my brush, and that's how I get nice lines on the edges. So I think I'm going to be fixing that anchor. I think. I know I do it. So putting a second coat there. It's okay if it's not like a solid navy blue. It just adds a little more like depth and contrast. A lot of times we go back and add a lot of highlights. This one we kept a little simple. We did add some highlights, but not really too much on the shading part. Again, just covering some spots. I think now I realize my anchor needs to be, the little points need to be a little pointier and hanging down. So there we go. And it might be a little bit longer than I had on the design. Again, that's okay. Right? You do you. That's okay. Nobody's going to know that, that little piece of the anchor was supposed to be a little teeny tiny bit shorter. And again, it does not have to be perfect. You just got to enjoy the process. And a lot of times when you walk away from your project, that's when it really looks nice. When you're sitting there painting and you're looking at it, but when you walk away or take a picture of it, it looks nice. So right now I'm putting it's going to look like little waves or wind. Just putting these feather type strokes onto the canvas. And it's going to kind of mimic like waves or the wind. Almost reminds me of Starry Night, with those swirls and stuff, but not quite like that. But that's kind of the look we're going for. You can think of it as waves or, the wind. So we're just first putting a layer of white. And it's just like little wispy strokes with the white. Adding a little more there. And you can really do this whichever style you like. And I'll put some up there. This painting actually didn't take that long. I've done some others at paint parties and they took a lot longer. And it's a fun one because, my painters get to be creative and do their own little thing here. And, the hard part was maybe drawing that anchor, and that was already drawn on there for them. I like to give them a little challenge, and I like to teach, but I also want them to feel comfortable. A lot of times it's like their very first paint party. They're a little nervous, so this helps with their anxiety. So I'm just kind of making it look like, the wind or waves. And then we will add some little blue, again, feather strokes on top of that. I am using my round brush to do this. And you can go back and touch up and see, if you need more here and there. I've done a chicken painting where it's so much fun to put the feathers. You could keep adding feathers forever because it's just fun to do these little feathery strokes. I'm going to touch that up again. Touching up a few spots while the white is drying. I believe now I'm going to take the blue, the navy blue color again. And I'm using the round brush again. Excuse me. And again, adding little short strokes, almost like commas or little feathery strokes. And it's good to do them quickly. See, I just speed up the video, but you actually do them kind of, like a light touch and a quick stroke. So almost like you would do feathers. And you add some of the blue, using the navy blue. Actually, this painting does not use too many colors, which is also a bonus. When you go to paint parties, you don't have to lug as much paint. But the easels get heavy. Excuse me. Hopefully I can cut that part out. Like I said, this is new to me, so I apologize. Excuse me for coughing. And if you think you got too much blue, you can always go back with your white paint, even if that blue is still wet. So I think that's what I'm doing. And then I would kind of give it a lighter blue in some spots. So, if you think it's like a little too harsh. So you can keep playing with this. I mean, at some point you do have to stop and go on to the next part of this painting. So I'm adding some white. So some of the blue will be like a navy blue. Some of it will be a little bit lighter blue. You'll see those white strokes. Looks weird now, excuse me, but we are going to add some flowers. Like a rose looking, peony or rose or something like that. And I am taking like a goldish color, adding some white to it, or vice versa, adding the gold to my white. And I actually came out a little darker than I liked. So, but you get a nice big flower there. So I keep adding a little bit more white. You could do it a gold color, but I wanted to have it a little bit softer. So I'm adding more white. You could use a tan color, whatever color you like. You can see I'm adding more white again. And then I'm making another smaller little rose right below that one. Now that rose up top on the upper right, I wish I'd brought it down a little more, closer to the anchor, or made it a little bigger. But that was an afterthought. So, staying like that. So now I'm adding those little tiny commas with my round brush with white paint. My paint is still a little wet. You could wait for it to dry completely, but I don't mind the look of it, being a little wet. Mixing in, and now I decided, nope, I want to lighten it a little more, so I just swirl the white paint from the commas in there, and I can always go back and put more white. So see, this is what I mean. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake, you can cover it up. You can keep changing it. Now I believe I'm going to paint the leaves. Oh, no, I'm actually the little white highlights. That could have been done at the end, but that's okay. I guess while I had my white in my hand. And that was with a liner brush, I think. It might be a liner brush. Or like a detail brush. And now I'm adding a little bit more of the solid white, because remember, if I did it when it was wet, sometimes the white paint doesn't look so bright white. So I wanted to go back and give it a little bit more of that bright white. Now we are doing the leaves. I have a dark green. And you can add a little bit of that gold color to lighten it, like on the top edge of the leaf. And then on the bottom, I'm going to add a little bit of the navy right there at the bottom. And that's just going to, instead of using black, we're going to keep it the navy. So it just darkens the bottom of the leaf a little bit. Now when I painted my leaves, I actually used the green and then I added some white to lighten it. But I think what I'm going to tell my painters is to use that gold to lighten their green. And that way, I think I would like the color a little better. And that's why I like to paint these myself instead of just painting it at the paint party. That one I decided to go lighter. So I added more white, but like I said, I think I'm going to be adding the an ochre or that gold color, like a mustard color, not really gold, mustard. And just playing around with the leaves. So that's what my painters are going to do. They're going to be making the swirls. They are going to be painting in those roses and also, painting the leaves themselves without any tracer. I know they can handle it. And now I think I'm adding, just kind of touching up, adding a little more light green and adding a little bit of that blue. Just to get my leaves until I'm happy with it. Again, if you don't like something, you can start over again and paint your leaf over again. Paint your roses over again. Acrylic paints are so forgiving. If you have not tried it, please try it. It's so much fun. Now I'm just putting like little blobs, like, blob, blob, blob with my round brush. See, blob, blob, blob. Yep, just to make it look like it's some type of floral or a leaf. A little more like abstract, So, I'm still touching up. Sometimes my OCD gets the best of me. I'm adding more of the green. I think I added a lighter green. Adding another leaf down here too. And what do you think? Isn't it coming out pretty? I love the colors. The light blue and the dark blue. Like I said, I live in on the East Coast, and a lot of people, decorate with coastal. And I think this will go well into their homes. Next week I have another paint party. We are painting a seahorse with like these roses on it, and also a lighthouse with like a sunset and a lighthouse. So that'll be pretty cool. So that'll be a painter's choice. They get to choose which one they want. Making those little blobs. And then to the blobs we add white. With the same brush, you just get white. There we go. I'm adding the little blobs. So you kind of just tap your brush down a little bit. Kind of squish your brush down onto the canvas, and that gives you those little blobs. Fancy term, right? Blobs. Now I'm adding that the mustard color and putting little dots with the back of my paintbrush to the center. And we're almost done. Maybe I should have speeded this video up a little more. I apologize. So doing the same thing on the other roses, adding a little bit of that gold on the mustard. It's not a shiny gold, it's mustard. Same thing there. And then I'm going to add a few more dots with the navy blue. So again, instead of black, we're using the navy blue. And that'll just kind of have the whole design make it cohesive, you know. So there we go, the little dots. I love doing the little dots with the back of the brush, right? Again, you could get carried away, so don't do too many. Okay, tell myself to stop. Enough, Lydia. I hope you all are having a great day. I can't wait to be chatting with some of you. If you like this, please share. I would appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends. I do have some shorts already I put on here, short videos, so you can check them out. And now I'm going back and I'm adding a little more white here and there. So you can cover some of the blue with your white. You know, and again, it's just giving it another like dimension, another layer. And we're almost done. I'm just kind of touching up, looking around, seeing where else I could paint, because I don't want to stop. It's so much fun, I don't want to stop. But I think they're going to love it, don't you? Let me know what you think. Please leave a message below. I do pay to have the rights for this design. So it's not something you can copy and sell. I'm trying to think, what else does it need? I love it. I've forgotten that little circle on the anchor, the white circle there. We're going to put a little bit of a dash of blue. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks. Bye-bye.